Hey, Johnny.
Hey, good work.
Good work.
Did you go to that Kiddush?
Yeah,
How was it?
crazy good, crazy. But like that restaurant's it's in that restaurant with the black front on it.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It's very, very cool inside, very hip. I don't know if it's still functioning. Someone said they went out of business. I don't know. Anyway, it's really nice inside, and the food is with this Yossi.
Yeah.
As you walk in, they had a full bar. I mean, they're crazy. They had three bartenders working full time. Then
Jeez.
they had like all these desserts around the table, and then they had like little dips and stuff as you walk down. In the back, they had cholent yapsik, kugel, and upstairs was they were carving meat. There's an upstairs
But
area,
there's an upstairs also.
a little balcony. Yeah, they're
I was thinking I was gonna go, but then I was thinking probably gonna be packed with people, so I wonder whether it's worth it or not.
no, it wasn't that packed. People came in like
In
slowly.
group,
Came in,
slowly.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought also, wait, I'd just go in and say Mazel Tov and leave, but it wasn't so crowded.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, but
I
it's
was just curious.
really, really
I was curious to see the inside.
And then you're invited tomorrow night, Magda told me,
yeah, that's downtown in some warehouse.
in a warehouse.
Yeah,
Where?
Hewitt Street downtown in the arts.
Okay, so you'll give us an update.
I sure
Were you
will, of
invited?
course.
You got a personal invitation?
No, I didn't get an invitation for tomorrow. No.
Oh, okay.
No.
No.
Do you
Yeah,
know
it's-
them?
Yeah, no, you know, they used to live down the corner. When we lived on Martel, they lived on the corner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so we used to have them all the time.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
have a good time.
Enjoy.
Even when she was still married to Frank.
Shavua Tov, Shavua Tov.
Good luck, good luck.
Oh, that's one. Oh, yeah.
Very interesting. Remember that was a restaurant with they had the glass windows to the outside initially.
Initially, but now it's all black steel.
Yeah.
They have these booths, like concrete booths.
Yeah.
Inside along one wall. And then it's kind of hard to describe. It's just very cool looking.
As he told me, he was there. So he says the kitchen is amazing. What they have in the kitchen, the
machinery,
the machinery, and it's amazing.
Oh
yeah, really.
I didn't look at. I just looked at the food.
All right. Okay. Maybe I should have gone. Whatever.
We're on 23, Chav Gimel.
Next time.
Pasuk HaKosuv b'niske momono. The pasuk says kiseitse eish. That sounds like an animal leaving your rishus, which implies that fire is your momon. But siyem b'niske gufo. The pasuk ends by saying umavir esabei ra. That refers to the person. We've been having this debate whether fire is considered, when fire goes and does damage, is it as if it's a personal, like a human being doing damage, or his assets doing damage? From the pasuk, it seems to say isho mishum chetzio. Amar Rav Kasher labayo. Rav says that the following was a problem for Rabbi Amar isho mishum chetzio. According to the opinion that when a person lit a fire and it did damage, it's considered like he shot an arrow. It's coming directly from him. So tamun be'esh to poter rachman heich mishkachos. There is a din in damage caused by fire. That something buried in the ground, you're poter for that. If it damages something above ground, then you're chayiv. But below the ground, you're poter. Now, if you shoot an arrow at something and it damages something either above the ground or below the ground, you're chayiv. So this is a kasha on the person who says ishu mishum chetzia. So v'nichale Abaye resolved this by explaining gon shenaflot leika losa chotzer. Let's say a person started a fire in his backyard, and there was a fence in between his yard and his neighbor's yard, and then nafla geder. the fence fell. Shalom Achmas Leika. The wind blew it down. It had nothing to do with the fire. And now, now this allowed the fire to go to your neighbor's garden and destroy things there. The fire that you had started in your background, it was limited when you first started the fire. There was a fence there. Just like if you would have shot an arrow at the fence, the arrow would not have entered into your neighbor's property. It would remain in your property. So the fire that left his property can't really be considered his arrow. So there would be a reason to pater that which is buried in the next door's neighbor's property if the fire damaged it. Well, ihachi, it shouldn't just be that which is damaged. It shouldn't be that which is hidden. That should pater you for all damages. You shouldn't be chayv anything if you describe this case that the fence fell down. Ella lemandi islay mishum chetzio. According to Rabbi Yochanan, who holds that isha mishum chetzio islay nami mishum mamono. He's not negating that you have responsibility for damage. He views Aish as both as mamono and chetzio. So you would be chayiv for the things that were up above ground, but pater for below ground. When? He had time to rebuild the fence and he didn't do it. He had an ox and he didn't sort of slap it in its face to keep it in the corral. So that's the chetzio part, which would damage the stuff above ground. But if the fence hadn't fallen down, you would, there's a certain limitation of your responsibility. So therefore, you're pater for the tumah. So now it comes out that Rabbi Yochanan doesn't hold mishum chetzio, but not mamono. He holds that it's both. Then my binai. Then give me a case that shows a nafkamina between Rav Yochanan and Reish Lakish. It could be nayu b'chayva bar b'dvarim. So if a person lit a fire and it damaged another human being, so if you hold mishum chetzio, Rabbi Yochanan would require you to pay tsar, ripui, sheves, and boishes, like other times that you damage a human being as nezek odom. Because mishum chetzio really means odom amazi. Then alachrora mishalem. We said that if a dog took a piece of cake in its mouth and there was a coal, it came with it, and he ate it in a different field. So you chayiv nezek sholem for the cake, but only chatzi nezek for the burning of the field, because it's like tzoyros. Now who's chayiv? Man chayiv? Bava Kama, the owner of the dog. So the Gemara says, chayiv nami bala gachelas. Why shouldn't the owner of the coal be chayiv? He has a part in the achrayas. He didn't watch the coal properly and allowed the dog to get it. So b'shishim gechalato. The owner of the coal watched the coals properly. So ikishishim gechalso, my bar kelavasa. If the owner of the coals did a proper shmir, what was the kelev doing there with it in its mouth? He obviously didn't watch the coals properly. B'shechotar. There was a gate, but the dog dug underneath the gate. And honor of Mary Bava Kama Zoysumeres, Dalto is Choteres and it's Kelly. It's not considered an unusual thing for a dog to dig under a wall. Otherwise, you wouldn't pay Nezek Shalom, it would be considered like Karen. So a dog, we assume, als the shmira of the Bala Gachelis, that was enough. And the owner of the dog should have tied it up. Now, we ask the question, Achla Hecha. Where did the dog eat the cake? He ate the cake in a third party's field, not the owner of the cake. So then he wouldn't be chayiv nezek shalom either. It has to be in the chatzra nizik. The nizik is the balachrora of the leka. Lo tzricha shachlo the gadish of balachrora. He ended up eating the cake in the field of the owner of the cake. So he's chayiv because he ate it in b'shus nizik. So Tiv showed we can deduce from that when a cow goes and eats in somebody's field, is his mouth considered, even though he's standing in Ruvain's field, Ruvain is the one who's going to get damaged, the mouth of the parah is considered like the Rishus HaNizik. The Chatzra Mazik, because if the mouth of the cow is considered like the chutzner of the owner of the cow, lemalei, so the owner of the cow can say, "My boy Rivka, with the cowboy," or in the case of the dog, what is your bread doing in my dog's mouth? It's my rishus. I wouldn't be chai for nezek. Must be that the P Kelev or the P Par is Kachotzra Nizik. The Boiluhu. In fact, this was asked, P Para Kachotzra Nizik Dami or Kachotzra Mazik Dami? The mouth of the Para or the Kelev, is it the Chotzra Nizik or the Chotzra Mazik? Iyamr Kachotzra Mazik Dami. So Shein Dechav Rachmanim Kachoslo. How can you ever describe a case where you'd be chayav for shame for eating in somebody else's field? It would be considered like he's once it gets into the mouth of the parrot, it's like his own field. On Rav Mary Braid Rav Kahana, no. The cow rubbed his back on the wall of his neighbor, he broke it. Or tin for Paris Lanosa, or he wanted to scratch his back, he jumped on a pile of fruit and rubbed it and he damaged them. Anything that a creature does for hana is under the category of shame. And in these cases, it did not enter the mouth of the part. So, Mazal Marzutra. V'haba inan kasher yaver agal atumo. It's a pasuk in Melachim that the era, it has to be completely destroyed. Like when you eat something, it's completely destroyed. And in these cases, leka, when it rubs its back against a wall or on fruit, it doesn't destroy them completely. But Ravina Omar Deshav Salmi, yeah, there was some kind of painting on the wall, and he destroyed the painting. Ravashi Omar de Pasip Sui, or he squashed all the fruit, and it was complete destruction. So again, we haven't resolved the issue of what is the status of the Pipor, Toshma. Shisabosa Kelev. I instigated a dog to attack a friend. Or Shisabosa, or I did the same thing with a snake. Potter. The guy who did the instigation is Potter. Man Potter. Mishasa Potter. B'chai bala kelev. Yeah, the owner of the dog is chai. Now, the amrid kechotzer mazik dami. If the mouth of the dog or the para is considered like the mouth of the, it's considered his rishus. Lemalei, the owner of the dog can say, "My boy yotcha b'pumi de cowboy." The one who got bitten, the owner of the dog can say, "What was your hand doing in my dog's mouth? It's my rishus." So, ema potter af mishase. Everybody's potter, balakelev, and the one who instigated. The one who instigated, the kelev doesn't belong to him, and the balakelev is potter because it's like it's not rishus anizik, it's rishus amazik. Or he boys him if you want the avke lenive v'sharte, or his teeth were out of its mouth, and it did damage without the guy entering its mouth. Toshma, hishich pos anachash. A person took a snake, opened up its mouth so that the venom was in the teeth, and I brought it to a person, and it killed the person. Rabbi Yehuda Machayev. Rabbi Yehuda says it's no different than if I used a sword and stabbed the person. However, Chachamim poitri. Now, what's the basis of this machlokes? Amar Rav Acha bar Yaakov. Kishatim Salom l'divrei Rabbi Yehuda, eres nachash pein shina v'loy made. That means Rabbi Yehuda holds that when it comes to a snake, the venom is there, ready to go. The nachash doesn't do anything. There's no will of the nachash, and therefore, by me bringing the teeth to another person, it's like I've used a sword. Lefichach kemakish b'sayev. It's like if I stabbed him with a sword. V'anachash potter. The nachash doesn't get killed like a shor niskal because he didn't do anything. Now, l'divrei chachamim, eres nachash me'atzma maki. No, the snake vomits the venom. He actually does a maisa. Lefichach nachash b'skila. It's killed just like any other animal that kills a human being. And the makish is potter. I mean, from Misa's based in, you cannot kill the makish. Now, in this dispute, what is considered the mouth of the para? If the mouth of the para is kachotzer amazik, lemalei, the owner of the snake could say to whoever got damaged, "My boy yodcha b'pumei dechive." What was your hand doing in my snake's mouth? So, lenient ketola lomri. When it comes to capital crimes, we can't use that claim. Because if I kill somebody, it doesn't make a difference whether I kill somebody in my neighbor's backyard or my backyard. I'm chayiv. Where you kill somebody is not relevant. When I pay damages, it's relevant, but not when it comes to capital crime. Minot Tamer, where do you see this? The Tanya. Hanichnas lechotzer balabayis shelo b'shus. Person entered a chotzer without permission. The nacha shorshel balabayis, the owner of that backyard, had an ox there, and it gored the guy who entered without permission, umeis. Hashor b'schila. The shore is put to death. Doesn't make a difference whose territory it killed. Ubalim p'tum nakoifer. The owners are potum nakoifer. Balim p'tum nakoifer. My time to omer le b'shusi, my boys. Who told you to come into my property? Shoranami le melei, my boys b'shusi. Well, why doesn't the owner of the shore say why should you kill my shore? He came into my property. So li'ini ketar lo amrina. This taina of what are you doing in my property, you can't say when it comes to capital crimes. Hanu easy to be tarbudavim mufastile. There were these goats of a certain family, that were causing financial damage to Rav Yosef. Omerle Labai, Rav Yosef to Baizil Emilu Marayu. Go tell the owners of the goats, the litzninu, that they should watch the goats, keep them in their rishus. Omerle Amai Ezel, why should I go? The Azilna, and I go tell them that Armili Ligdor Margdia Bari. They'll tell me, go build a fence around your property. And therefore their goats will not be able to come to his rishus. So the goda, and if a person built a fence, and then you want to say that if he didn't, the bailing would not be chayv b'nezek. So how would you ever have a case? How will you ever describe a case that the Torah says that a cow goes into your neighbor's field and eats it, that you have to pay? If that owner of the field had a responsibility to put a fence there, so why is there any responsibility? So in a chanami, he has a responsibility to guard his fence too. We're talking about the dog dug underneath the fence, or inami denafel good belela, or the geder that was put up by the neighbor fell at night, and he didn't have time to rebuild it. So machros Rav Yosef v'itei Rabba, the sakin le'ilan and nachtan l'tata. Those that go up and those that come down. It means the people who come from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael, which are making aliyah, or the people going from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel who are Yordim. Everybody agrees halacha. Hani izi deshuka de mafsidi. You're bringing goats to the market to get shechted, and they wait around, and meanwhile they do damage. Masrin barayu treu tlasazimnim. We warn the owners 2 or 3 times to watch them. Itzayis. The ilo amrinan lay tiv amiska v'kibul zuzay. You must sit next to the butcher and watch your goats, or shecht your animals right away, because you're not allowed to do damage to other places, and you'd be required to pay them. Ezeu tam ve'ezemuid. What's an animal that's a tam? What's a muid? Muid kol she'idu bo shlosha yomim. They witnessed him goring 3 days. The tam, a day goes by and he didn't gore. Shlosha yomim ela de reviewed. Rav Meir has nothing to do with days. Muid kol she'idu bo shlosha pamim. If there were 3 times witnesses that saw him gore, he's a mu'id. The tam, if children can play with these animals and they don't get gored, he's a tam. Now, my time at Rabbi Yehuda that says it has to do with 3 consecutive days. Amar Abaya, the pasuk says, Kishor nagachu mitmol shulshom, v'lo yishmerenu bala. Tmol is chad. Mitmol is trey. Shilshom plus. V'lo yishmerenu balav asam l'negicha revius. So at the 4th time, it's a mu'id. So it needs 3 times, then the next time it becomes a mu'id. Rava Amar Tmol, Mitmol is chad. Shilshom trey. V'lo yishmerenu hayidna, meaning this 3rd time, he's already chai. Rav Meir, my time up. Why did Rav Meir say nothing to do with days? Okay, we'll continue this tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll learn at 7:30, our regular time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Navi Shir in 4 minutes.